Hello, North Central Washington, and welcome to Networked, a variety show where we bring you the latest news and insights on technology, education, and innovation in North Central Washington. I'm your host, Jenny Rojanasatian, Executive Director of NCW Tech Alliance. NCW Tech Alliance is a nonprofit that connects people with technology, entrepreneurship, and STEM education resources across North Central Washington. There's a place for everyone at our nonprofit, whether you're a techie, an entrepreneur, an educator in business, or just simply a community member. By becoming a member of our nonprofit, individuals and companies gain exclusive access to NCW Tech resources and events. Memberships come with a wide range of benefits, including visibility on our website, discounted or free tickets to over 40 events every year, and even an opportunity to join us right here on this program. To discover more about our membership options or to sign up, visit ncwtech.org/membership. Today, we're really excited to showcase one of our important business members, Larson Gross. They're a full-service firm with almost 200 staff across 5 office locations in Washington State. Founded in 1949, Larson Gross has been operating for 74 years, and today they're led by 18 partners who grow their firm with a respect for where they've come from and a new vision for the future. But they're not just about business. Larson Gross is a community-conscious organization with a mission to drive measurable and positive change where they live and work. Today, I'll be talking with Aaron Wilbur and Marv Tjoelker, both partners of Larson Gross, about their recent merger with Homechick Smith & Associates. Aaron and Marv raise an important question. How do local business owners remain community-driven and meet the needs of the changing region while becoming a larger organization by merging? We'll learn that and more in the episode ahead. Don't go far. Welcome to Network TV. Very excited to introduce my 2 guests for today, Aaron Wilbur and Marv Tjoelker from Larson Gross. Welcome.
Thank you.
Really excited to have you on air. This is our first time sitting down and kind of getting to know each other, although I've been very familiar with the firm and how active you've been in the community. Before we talk about Larson Gross and the recent merger, I'd love for our audience to kind of get to know you both. Aaron, I'll start with you if you want to introduce yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. So Aaron Wilbur, I'm a local, grown up and born and raised in Wenatchee. So 3rd generation Wenatchee family. My kids are the 4th. My great nieces and nephews are the 5th. So we've been in Wenatchee for a long time. Mother of 3. Wife, and so my family takes up most of my time outside of the office, and that's awesome. We just spend as much time together as we can, do all the outdoor recreating that, Wenatchee is just great for. Camping, hiking, fun things outside of the, once we get past April 15th, we'll be doing all those things. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. Tax season keeps you pretty busy, I imagine.
Yes.
But no surprise why your family would choose to stay here generation after generation, because truly an incredible community to live.
Absolutely.
Now, Marv, you were telling me offline that you've been coming to Wenatchee for years, but you are not based here. So I'd love for you to introduce yourself.
Sure. I'm Marv, and I grew up in Whatcom County, really about 3 miles from the Canadian border. So very, very northwest corner of the state of Washington. Grew up on a dairy farm, had allergies and asthma, so could not be a dairy farmer. So decided to become a CPA. And I went to school at Seattle Pacific University, spent a couple years in Spokane with Deloitte, an international accounting firm. And then had the opportunity to join Larson Gross back in Whatcom County in 1983. So in January of this past year, I celebrated 40 years at Larson Gross.
Congratulations. That's a huge milestone.
It's been an awesome run.
Yeah.
I became a partner in the firm in 1994, served as the firm's CEO probably from 2002 to 2012, as chairman of the board from 2012 to 2020, and now I find myself as the senior partner. So, yeah. And been coming to Wenatchee because my wife and I and our family have been competing with horses for years. And Wenatchee has an awesome facility here called Appalachia Riders. And we come here to compete with barrel racing and pole bending and those types of events.
I love that you now, we were talking offline, that you're going to now kind of blend a little business and pleasure. You've always been coming out to Wenatchee, but now, of course, you've got an office and team right here in the Valley.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about, for those who may not know, the merger with Homechick and Larson Gross. Erin, you were a part of the Homechick Smith team. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so at the time of the merger, I was the managing partner at Homechick Smith. So there were about 35 of us on the team at the time, and still are, actually a little bit more than 45 or 35 now there today in the Wenatchee office. So, you know, Homechick Smith was a very, very long-standing firm in the community. So 1934 is when we were founded. So, you know, that legacy is very important to us, and, you know, just really important to keep it going strong. You know, having a wonderful year. We have wonderful clients, and we love the community that we work in, and didn't really have our eyes necessarily set on a merger, but when the opportunity presented itself, it just was a perfect combination of firms, cultures, personalities, leaders, and goals amongst the two firms. You know, and really just looking at it as a way to be even better than we were before. And that's really what it's felt like ever since.
Continue that legacy of service. 1934, that's an incredible tenure for an organization. Yeah. And obviously Larson Gross also has an incredible tenure and longevity across the Pacific Northwest. Marv, tell us about the merger from your perspective, and, you know, kind of what appealed about this organization to come together.
Sure. So yeah, Larson Gross was started in 1949 by Ted Larson, hence Larson Gross. And yeah, so we have historically been a locally owned CPA firm, have been serving clients really in the Pacific Northwest. A lot of work in the agricultural field, manufacturing, and locally owned businesses. A few years ago, during the COVID era actually, had the opportunity to hire a couple people from Yakima, and they were working for us remotely, and brought us some really great business opportunities in the Yakima market, and said, hey, let's open an office in Yakima. And we did, and it's been incredibly successful right from the get-go. And so as we looked at our market opportunities, we thought it would make sense to have another office in Eastern Washington, Central Washington. And as we looked around, Wenatchee was just a perfect spot. And through our relationships that we've had over the years, Homechick was part of the RSM Alliance, so was Larson Gross. So we knew about Homechick, and they knew about us. And as we thought about coming to Wenatchee, what a great opportunity to merge with a very successful firm, with a great culture, with great people, and with great clients. And so it's been fantastic.
Well, exciting too that through the pandemic you've actually been able to expand, when obviously that was such a challenging time for locally owned businesses, including, you know, like yourselves. Yes. Small businesses are really the backbone of our community. So the fact you're able to expand and take advantage of remote work is incredibly exciting. Tell us, you know, mergers are obviously a very complicated endeavor to merge the, like you said, the culture, the values of one organization into the other. What advice would you give to maybe a business who was looking at a merging opportunity? Any lessons learned through the process, or things that you would recommend they look under consideration? And I'll hit both of you with this question.
So number one piece of advice that just pops right to the surface is, and there are a lot of things to think about, you're right, it's complicated to bring two organizations together. And have it be successful, and have it be kind of almost like a non-event is the goal, right? Yeah. That's almost unattainable, but that's the goal. That's the, that's what you're striving for. So, but number one most important thing is just, you have to be comfortable with the people. It's all, well, at least at Homechick and Larson Gross, both of our firms, it's just really relationally driven. So if it wasn't going to be a good fit in terms of the leaders and everybody else in the firm as well, and the relationships that they could develop with one another and with all the clients, as well, then it wasn't going to work. So really just the getting comfortable with the people part of it as much as you can, because at the end of the day, the business is going to continue on one way or the other, but you want to still have it be a great place for your folks to work and a great place for your clients to experience being served by your firm.
So was there a lot of kind of get to know you times and invested in the process where the management's really spending time getting to know each person on a really individual level to help nurture that transition?
Yeah, to me, the culture is really important. It's always been really important for Larson Gross, and I know it's been really important for HomeChick.
Yeah.
The fact that we want our people to feel a real sense of belonging to the organization. So we wanted to bring that sense of belonging to Wenatchee as well. And so, yeah, just time spent getting to know each other. There's 3 partners with HomeChick that are now partners at Larson Gross, so that's been great. That connection that we have and the synergy we have as partners now together is fantastic. That is super important to us. And the people that join Larson Gross as part of the HomeChick team, really want them to, be a part of the team.
And now, was this Larson Gross's first merger?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So,
Well, I mean, we had a smaller merger in 2009, but it was much, much smaller. So this is a much more significant merger for our firm.
And now it's scaled the entire Larson Gross operation to approximately how many employees are working in the firm now?
So we have about 190 people in the 5 different offices.
Okay. And where are those 5 offices? So we've obviously been talking about Wenatchee, and we've talked a little bit on Bellingham. Where are the other?
So we have an office in Yakima, an office in Linden, and an office in Burlington.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, we have to head out to a commercial break, but this is a great stopping point. Don't go too far. When we get back, we'll dive further in with Aaron and Marv. We'll be right back. Welcome back for part 2 of Networked. I have been chatting with the folks at Larson Gross about the recent merger, Aaron Wilbur and Marv Tjoelker. Thank you guys for sharing a little bit about your personal backgrounds, the merger. But now I'd like to dive into the services of the firm, starting with, kind of what does a CPA do, right? There's some people watching out there today maybe who've never sought out a certified public accountant and don't know what the suite of offerings are. So Aaron, maybe you can start by just at the basic level, what does a CPA do?
Sure, yeah. So at the basic level, a CPA is probably known for doing several things, tax work and financial statement work. So helping companies understand what their financial statement looks like, preparing that in a way that bankers and lenders and other users of financial statements are requiring to see it. And maybe doing some consulting around that space. Sometimes financial planning as well comes into the picture. So those are kind of your typical traditional CPA services. And Larson Gross does all of those things, of course, and has also tried to really strategically be moving in the recent, probably 5 to 10 years or so, also providing some more non-traditional services that are more well-rounded, or I guess not more well-rounded, just to meet the needs of all our clients so that they can have a trusted advisor to go to for things that are a little bit less conventional, maybe than they might be thinking about, like IT services or HR services, or consulting around state and local tax issues, things along those lines. So,
Marv, why did the firm choose to go a route where you're providing additional added services for businesses?
Yeah, so we want to we work really hard to build a great relationship with our clients. And that's one of the coolest things about being a CPA is you get that opportunity to really get to know your clients. And as you get to know them, you find out more and more of their needs. As a business, they have this need, they have need in the HR area or the IT area. And many times they're not big enough to cover all that need to hire the person within the organization to cover that. But we have a team that can help them accomplish some of those things. So it's like trying to meet the needs of our clients in addition to the tax and financial statement and other needs, trying to meet as many needs as possible to serve them. So
kind of creating more of a streamlined process as far as
more of a one-stop shop.
In that consulting area that they can rely on your services to help the team. I know you've got a couple great local professionals who are working in this, but tell me just high level, what does it mean to have like an HR professional embedded at Larson Gross that's helping your company?
So for example, if your company needs to hire a bookkeeper, often the owners aren't really like, how do you evaluate the skill set of a bookkeeper or an accountant? So we can help them in the hiring process. We can help them with some of the policy manual, new legislation that comes out on sick leave or whatever. We can help them interpret those laws for the business and implement the processes that they need to implement to help make sure they're meeting those needs.
So kind of that regulatory side, helping them with compliance issues.
As well as the hiring process.
And as well as the hiring itself and evaluations. Okay. Can this be any type of company that you're doing this type of work for?
Yeah, we're doing work for a large scale of companies, both large and small.
Okay. Wonderful. So let's dive into maybe just Larson Gross have specialties. You talked a little bit about some the rich agriculture base of the firm. What are the firm specialties as far as business goes?
Yeah, so there's a multiple number of specialties. Certainly the financial reporting, the tax side. There's a lot of unique tax law relative to agriculture. And really a lot of different industries. And more that's becoming true as tax law is used to stimulate the economy with various credits and so forth that are available to businesses. So specializing in that to help make sure that we're providing those services to our clients and they're able to take advantage of those opportunities is really important. But then we got estate planning specialties, we got the financial planning, we're getting into wealth management now. The IT, there's just different areas that we specialize in. And that's what makes the merger so great is that we're able to access now more resources together to bring those resources to our company.
Now we talked a lot about kind of the business side. Aaron, I'll ask you kind of on an individual side, because when you think about retirement planning or financial advising, tell me a little bit about what it looks like to support an individual or maybe someone who's never seen a CPA or walked into a consulting firm before. What are some of the supports that you can provide and how you walk them through that?
Yeah, so that really depends a lot on the person and where they're at, of course. But generally, people, individuals will come to a CPA because either they have a business or they had a business, or they are, just trying to figure out what to do with the assets that they have or the assets that they're earning, the retirement that they're saving. Oftentimes, maybe they'll have had a relatively predictable, scenario, and now maybe they're going to retire, and they're just not quite sure what that looks like. So there certainly is a place and great value that we can add to individuals, whether they're connected to a business or not. And usually it's when those other kinds of questions start popping up in their mind, not necessarily the tax return, maybe it's that, but usually it's that plus something else. I'm getting ready to retire, like I said, I don't know what that means. Help me think through that and plan for that. So really a planning, kind of a strategic thinking now about what things are going to look like later and preparing for that and helping people feel comfortable as those, years go by between now and then, that they're knowing what's happening and to the extent you can kind of predict.
And it's kind of a neutral source. I think about retirement planning specifically, and that there's a lot of amazing organizations that help people with planning for retirement, but also are on a sales side as well. So they offer products and services that you can build wealth with. You're not selling retirement plans within it. So it's really just that evaluation from a neutral standpoint of someone's financial plans, right?
Yep.
Okay.
And I think that's what helps make us unique somewhat, is not only are we there to serve the business and all the needs of the client as a business owner, but we're also there to serve them personally in their personal financial world. So working both sides is really, I think, a benefit to our clients.
That they can come in and kind of have support for their person and their business.
Right.
Now, we've talked a lot about the non-traditional services and how you've grown in that way. If someone wants to learn more about Larson Gross, Erin, where can they find you locally in town?
Yeah. So locally in town, we are at 700 North Mission, Chelan.
We just talked about that offline.
What street are we on?
It's both of the one-ways.
North Chelan.
Okay.
So if you go to 5th Street and then go to 9th Street and go around, you'll just keep going by.
Okay.
So, yeah, 700 North Chelan.
North Chelan. And you're right next to FIG.
We are.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you'll see the sign, Larson Gross and the FIG sign together. Does someone need to be local to Washington State to utilize Larson Gross, though?
Oh no, definitely not.
Okay.
Yeah, we've got quite a lot of clients outside of Washington State.
So Marv, from your side, what would be the first step if someone's watching, visiting from out of town and seeing, and they're not tied to a specific community in Washington, so they're not in Bellingham or Yakima or Wenatchee. What's the best way to kind of get in contact and learn more?
So you can certainly check us out on our website, larsongross.com, or call the firm, and we can certainly try to match the person at our firm with the person that's calling in terms of what's their need. Is it estate planning? Is it financial planning? Is it related to a business tax question? How can we help?
And then find the right specialist, because I'm imagining you've got specialists amongst the 190 people to support each type of question.
And that's the great thing about 190 people.
Yeah.
We've got the specialists, so we can get answers.
Yeah, love that.
Sure.
Well, thank you both for coming in today and to share about what you do. Larson Gross, I've seen, has been really active at community events and doing a lot of outreach and support. So thank you for the service you're providing. I want to thank our viewers for tuning in. We'll see you here next week.